Wow, talk about being very completely stupid. I was just recording and I found out I had the microphone off. Which, are you kidding me with these goddamn YouTube notifications? I'm sorry, I haven't been on YouTube in 2 days, like at least for reaction purposes. But yeah. Anyway, let's just get back to the focus of this video. The Fast and the Furious franchise, or the Fast Saga, as the ninth film will now call it. Yeah. What to say? What to say? I love this franchise. I love how utterly ridiculous and how batshit insane it is because it's just that film that you need to see every once in a while. The Every film is like nothing makes sense at all, but damn it, I enjoy the hell out of it. And it's fun. It's funny how it went from being Point Break with cars eventually to a big multi-million dollar series. Let's see how much. Let's see. The Fast. Yeah, the Fast Saga. Um. Oh, that's just F9. Yeah, Fast and Furious. Although it's often called F9 in the Fast Saga. It's funny, I have a function key right here. And, yeah, I'm looking at everything here. Main saga. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Damn it! Where's the box office? Damn you! Damn you! Damn it! All right, here it is. I'm looking at it. So I'm looking at the box office performance for the first four films. So, the first one, The Fast and the Furious, made 207 million on a budget of just 38 million. So it was like the sleeper hit. It was like a sleeper hit essentially, and I think same thing with the second one. Weirdly enough, Too Fast, Too Furious, 236 million from a 76 million budget, and both Tokyo Drift and the fourth film were made for 85 million. And it's funny, Tokyo Drift is, ironically enough, the lowest grossing film in the series. Easily my favorite film of the original four movies is the lowest grossing one. That's just sad right there. Like 158 off of an 85 million budget, only 62 million belonging to in North America. But yeah, ever since Fast 5, these movies have been like box office juggernauts essentially, like Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. And I do hope with F9, I do know it's already been out internationally, but it's going, like, the pandemic's starting to make the world slowly go back to normal. I'm checking the timer because I don't want to go long on this video. I'm just going to react to this, then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to watch some, you know, 8 p.m. I'm going to watch some TV later on with my mom. I got to have some bonding time with my mother. But yeah, um, as far as the whole Fast saga goes, and I'm cautiously optimistic for F9. My only problem is one with F9 will be one, The Rock is not coming back, and two, Chris Morgan is not writing the script. It's the first movie F9 to not. It's the first movie in the series since Too Fast Too Furious not to have Chris Morgan as the screenwriter, which leaves me sad. Of course, not everything. I think I was remembering when Chris Morgan was trying to do something different, and he was like initially trying to produce the Dark Universe, and that failed so spectacularly. But ultimately, as far as the rankings go for me, Fast Five, Furious 7, Hobbs and Shaw, Tokyo Drift, and rounding out the top five, number five is Fast and Furious 4, the fourth one. Uh, and as the rest one them go, Fast and Furious 6, Fate of the Furious, Fast and Furious 1, and then way down at the threshold bottom here, nearing it, is F2. Uh, Too Fast, Too Furious is probably the only film in the series I do not like, which is understandable. For me, that movie, it felt like a boring Miami Vice episode that was just apparently it was like a rejected idea from a Miami Vice episode that someone at Universal found and thought, we can make this into a movie. Although, granted, it does have some. Too Fast, Too Furious, I think, would be like okay at best, but it's definitely the worst film in the series. It does have some fun moments, though, like Ejectocito, cuz. And plus, like, introducing Roman and Tej, that was funny. So, yeah. Patrick H. Willems, I'm finally doing a Patrick H. Willems video. One of my favorite critics on YouTube. I don't agree with him all the time, but 60% of the time, I agree on most of the statements every time. And he did a video here explaining to his parents why this series is so great. Let's see what Patrick has to offer here. I've seen this video before, but it's been a while, so let's just see this.
Patrick, what are you doing here?
How much have you had to drink?
Mom and Dad, I have to talk to you about something really important.
Yes.
Have you ever seen any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Nope.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you should. And right now, we're gonna talk about why.
Yeah. Spoilers ahead, by the way, if you have not
So
seen
look,
the movie.
I know these movies are massively popular and make billions of dollars and don't need me to defend them. But I also know that a lot of people have just dismissed them as those dumb car movies and don't buy.
I know someone in general. I know Cinema Sins, the whole gang at Cinema Sins, who I get why they don't like the franchise. I know how over the top it is. I get it, alright? It's just that they're in the vocal minority, though. So, yeah. And let me just close the door here, and I should have been speaking in my ASMR voice, although it's not as appealing as you might think.
Bother with them, and I understand that, because I used to be like that myself. For a full decade, from 2001 to 2011, I just totally dismissed them as the movies that only the really stupid people in my high school liked who were obsessed with cars. And then things changed in 2011. Fast 5 was about to come out, and I looked at the trailers and was like, wait a second, this actually looks good. There's like cool practical car stunts, The Rock is in it,
Fast 5 was technically my introduction to the series, and it's still my favorite film to this very day. Still the best one.
people say lines like,
Hold on a second, let me just, Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. I had something to handle. Sorry, I can. Here's the thing. No matter if regardless of whether or not I'm gonna record videos or not, I will never catch a break. But yeah, Fast 5 was my introduction to the series. So yeah, I just watched the whole video without interruptions.
Just went from Mission Impossible to Mission and freaking Sanity.
and then the reviews hit. And if you look at the Rotten Tomato scores for the first 4 movies, they're all not good, like mostly 20s and 30s. And you get to the 5th movie, and all of a sudden it's like high 70s. And what other movie series does that? I'll tell you. None of them. So anyway, I marathoned the first 4 movies and got super into them, and then saw the 5th one and totally fell in love.
I think I'm in love.
There is no other movie series as strange and fascinating as the Fast and Furious movies. No other
Like another pause that will happen. This is also my Fast 5 was also my introduction to Gal Gadot. A very beautiful woman.
series has evolved the way this has. The first one is about illegal street racers in LA stealing DVD players, and now the upcoming 8th one has cars driving on glaciers and The Rock throwing torpedoes with his bare hands at submarines. These movies are the goddamn best. So let's get into it. Something you should know is that every fan of these movies has a different ranking, and so what I'm going to say will be controversial.
Alright, I'm looking at Pat's ranking here. 5, 7, 6, 3, 1, 2, 4. Yeah, my ranking is 5. Once again, you all know my ranking. 5, 7, Hobbs and Shaw, 3 and 4. Ironic, I said 3 and then I said 4. How did I get my hand dirty? Ugh. Alright, yeah, but
To some, the first movie, not that good. It's basically a knockoff of Point Break, but with Paul Walker as Keanu and Vin Diesel as Swayze, except at the end Vin Diesel doesn't die. Instead of surfing, it's about illegal street Keanu and Vin Diesel as Swayze, except at the end Vin Diesel doesn't die. Instead of surfing, it's about illegal street racing, which as it turns out is really boring. All the cars just drive in a straight line, and then near the end of the race, they press the NOS button, and there's the CGI fly-through of the engine, and then they get a turbo boost, and someone wins. So the races aren't exciting and kind of suck, although it does give us the great moment of Ja Rule shouting, So most of the movie is kind of dull, but what is interesting is the world it introduces us to that has a lot of potential. It's this cool, diverse world with all these different characters, and Vin Diesel with his impossibly deep voice and vague ethnicity is kind of like the father figure to all these characters. And Michelle Rodriguez is doing her usual angry, tough woman thing, but cranked up to 11, and it's hilarious. And also, there's like this racing festival they go to called Race Wars.
Race Wars.
And who thought of that name? Anyway, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Also not good. The only film in the series I do not like. Sorry, this one to me is still the worst one. I tried rewatching it one time, and I was instantly like, skip.
This one is also not great, but it's dumb in an endearing kind of way. So Dominic Toretto, aka Vin Diesel, is not in this one because he's off in Mexico living his life a quarter mile at a time. So we follow former cop Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker, to Florida, where he has to work.
Also, the first official spin-off movie, it was Too Fast, Too Furious. I know Vin Diesel doesn't want to say otherwise, but technically it is the first spin-off film. Then Tokyo Drift was the second spin-off, and Hobbs and I have a different point of view of this series.
For the FBI to catch a criminal, but he's like, hey, to do this, to Florida, where he has to work for the FBI to catch a criminal, but he's like, hey, to do this, I've got to bring my old buddy Roman Pierce, played by Tyrese. This movie feels like a 2-hour pilot for a USA original series, in that it's super homoerotic, because Brian and Roman's entire relationship feels like two former lovers reconnecting. Like, when they first meet, they'd end up fighting and, like, rolling around on the ground together, and Paul Walker has an actual love interest, played by Eva Mendes, but every time she enters a scene, Tyrese glares at her and then storms away like he's really jealous. And at the end of the movie, who goes off into the sunset together? Paul Walker and Tyrese. Also, Tyrese says bruh in like every scene, and it's great.
It's a oasis in here, bruh. It's about to get serious, bruh.
Plus, this movie introduces us to the character Tej, played by Ludacris, who will be important later on. And this is a movie with Ludacris where different characters quote Ludacris songs. Move, bitch! Okay.
Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Ooh. I'm sorry, I had to.
Straight up, anyone who tells you that Tokyo Drift is the worst movie in the series is wrong, and you should cut those people out of your life.
Tokyo Drift, the only film in the actual series that actually focuses on racing. I know there's a whole Japanese Yakuza thing, but I remember Nate Hamilton from Renegade Media Group saying, criticizing fans in the most respectful way and offering his piece of constructive criticism. Where it's basically, and I see the problem, fans of the original movie are like, I like these better when they were about racing instead of heists. And Nate technically said, when you think about it, they've always been heist movies, or like action-adventure thrillers, with cars as the main as like a money-focusing way, just kind of lure butts into seats. Tokyo Drift is the only film in the series that actually focuses on racing. Also, this is when Justin Lin came into the fold, so a lot of the effects look better. And it is actually, looking back on it now, I like it more than I did when I initially saw it. So I like Tokyo Drift. I'm not afraid of admitting it. Also, this is also when Chris Morgan started writing the films. So yeah. What else did this movie have? Yeah, like the first film is literally Point Break with cars. Too Fast, Too Furious. Brian and Roman have to take down a drug lord in Miami. 4, they take down. Practically 3 is Tokyo Drift is the only one that actually focuses on racing. I'm sorry, but it's true, and you know it. I don't care if you go in the comments saying I'm wrong. You know I'm right.
This is the movie where the whole series changes, where the two most important people in the franchise enter the picture. Director Justin Lin, who would go on to make 4, 5, and 6, and writer Chris Morgan, who would go on to write 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and presumably 9 and 10. So Tokyo Drift...
This is aged like a fine wine.
Which is about an American teenager who goes to live with his father in Tokyo, and there he encounters their world of legal street racing. And first off, a big improvement to this movie is that the races are actually interesting, because the cars have to turn. Also, the cars aren't CGI all the time, they're actually practical, so it's way cooler. And what's also nice is that in the first two movies, everyone was just awesome at driving, like right from the beginning. But in this movie, the American teenager does not know how to do the Tokyo drifting that they all do, so he sucks at first. And he has to learn, and there are training montages where he improves. And that's when you realize that this movie is basically like a high school sports movie combined with a martial arts movie. Also, Sonny Chiba plays the head of the Yakuza, and it's great. And it's in this movie where we meet the best character in probably the whole series, Han. And they never say it out loud, but if you look in the credits, you can see his last name is actually...
Technically, this is supposed to be the same character that Sung Kang had played in Better Luck Tomorrow, just in one of Justin Lin's films before Justin Lin did the series overall. And I think technically he is credited as Han Lu, but yeah, I do get the joke. Han Solo. I think someone put that in as a joke.
Yes, that's right. But this isn't the first movie that Han has appeared in. See, Justin Lin's first film is this really good indie movie called Better Luck Tomorrow about Asian American teenagers in California. And in that movie, there's this really cool supporting character named Han, played by Sung Kang. And so, when Justin Lin signed on to make Tokyo Drift, he just brought the same character played by the same actor over to that. And here's what's important. 2/3 of the way through the movie, Han dies in a fiery car.
Hold on a second. I just gotta handle this teensy little problem here. My dogs. Well, I went to go scream at my dogs, and then I remembered I was gonna state an interesting fact. I remember hearing that Sung Kang was actually smoking offset when they weren't filming, and I think there was a certain rule that you could not have a character smoking. Even though in the first four films, there's lots of characters who smoke. And that was a rule before. Nowadays, you barely see anyone smoking in a PG-13 rated film. Barely. Unless it's a period film, then I think that's okay. So they would often give they would often give Sung Kang snacks, and he'd just be. That's why Han is always with. That's just an interesting thing there, by the way.
Car crash.
This let me remember how sad the scene
In the
was.
final scene, Dominic Toretto returns and says that Han and him used to ride together. And so cut to movie 4.
It's a prequel.
So at the beginning of the movie, Dom and his crew are in Mexico pulling this big truck heist. And who is a member of his crew? Han. And that's when you realize you're watching a prequel.
Actually, it took me long enough to wonder if it was a prequel or a sequel, because when I saw Tokyo Drift, I was like, and then when I saw 5, I was like, wait, is this a sequel, or is it a... And then 6 essentially clarified, no, this is kind of a prequel. I'm wondering if people have actually made an edit of Tokyo Drift and Furious 7 as one whole film. That would be awesome.
To Tokyo Drift, and the timeline just gets crazier from there. So I'm just gonna say, the 4th movie is the worst in the series. This one is like kind of trying to be a Michael Mann movie, so it's more of a crime thriller. It's really dark and moody and serious, and everyone's all upset because Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez, dies in the first act. And so everyone's bummed all the time, and that kind of style and tone don't really fit well with this big, goofy, sincere series. And so most of this movie is pretty boring, and also the climax, just all CGI cars in CGI tunnels, and no one gives a shit about CGI cars. But
I disagree. I respectfully disagree with Patrick. I still maintain the second one is the worst film in the series. And... I mean, 4 for me at least has a better plot than 1 and 2. But I enjoy 4, now that I think about it, more than, 6, 8, 1, or 2. I just think that 4 is, in my opinion, a little better. Although I will say the CGI cars really were distracting because I think the movie was fast-tracked for a release date, and I think it was. Let me just check if it was. Let's see. Fast and Furious 4. Yeah. Um, Alternatively known as Fast and Furious 4. Yada yada. Let me look at the production. Uh, Paul Walker filming began in 2008. If I'm not mistaken, I think this movie was being made around the same time that the Writers Guild of America strike, but apparently filming what it was filmed in 2008. So, let me type it here. WGA strike 07. Because, yeah, that was when a lot of movies were essentially screwed. Yeah, from November 2007 to 2008, February 2008. And essentially, yeah, so I think, yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure it was fast tracked because, yeah, filming again in 2008, the yada yada yada. The No, this is mostly about the cars, so I might have to look at the franchise for this. Tell you what, I do not really catch a break. I can't. I freaking can't. Production, development, the Fast Saga. Um, let's see. Yeah, away from the franchise, Diesel made a string of box office or critical. That is true. I do remember that. Chronicles of Riddick, I actually like. Pacifier was enjoyable when I was more of a kid. Given the apparent given the apparent death of the character, the timeline franchise was altered to account for his appearance. With the emphasis of car culture toned down, the fourth film was all the power of Diesel and Walker. So, okay, maybe it was written, and I'm pretty sure they had to shoot that scene very fast. Because those scenes very fast, because there's a lot where I feel like when they were finishing the movie, they had to tone down the color grading where it's very dark and you can't see, but you can tell they had to tone it dark because the visual effects had to be completed on a certain date. So, but yeah, I enjoy 4 more than Patrick does. That's just me, though.
But it is an important transition point, because this is the movie that brings back all the original characters. So Dom and Brian and
Yeah.
Mia and Letty, they're all back together. This is important because it sets the stage for the series to get truly great, which it does, with
Fast 5.
Also, the fourth movie is worth watching for the ridiculous scene where Dom goes to the crash scene where Letty got killed, and based on like a smudge on the ground, he uses what are apparently magic CSI powers to like piece together and recreate exactly how the crash happened. It's bonkers. So
I don't know, I like it. I like the Tony Scott style that it was going for. That would have been so cool to see Tony Scott actually do a sequel to the Fast Saga. I would have watched it, and I miss Tony Scott.
So what's insane about this franchise is that it took until the fifth movie to figure out what it's really supposed to be.
Yeah.
It started as street racing Point Break, and at this point has morphed into, as my friend Jamie described it, Axe Body Spray Ocean's 11. See, this one brings back
Ocean's 11 meets The Fugitive with Axe Body Spray.
every character who's pretty much ever appeared in the series, meaning Roman, Tej, Giselle from the fourth movie, played by a pre-Wonder Woman Gal Gadot, and of course, Han, and they're all in Rio together to pull a big
Also, Vince is in this movie.
heist involving numerous car chases, and they're being pursued by The Rock. Now, as we all know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a national treasure and currently one of our truly great movie stars. Now, this is a bold statement, but I'm just going to say it. His role as Luke Hobbs in these movies represent him in his ultimate form. He is at maximum intensity at all moments. He speaks almost entirely in one-liners.
I'm gonna put a hurt on him so bad he's gonna wish.
Not really. I will say, though, the fifth one, I think, is also The Rock's best performance because, from what I know, this character was originally meant to be Tommy Lee Jones, played by Tommy Lee Jones, as a reference to Tommy Lee Jones's character in The Fugitive. But a fan of Vin Diesel on Facebook said, "You know what I'd like to see? Vin Diesel versus The Rock," and so they rewrote it. But I feel like that's the thing, though. He does speak entirely in one-liners, but I think the fifth one, it felt like The Rock was actually trying to do something different. Don't get me wrong, I love The Rock, but I do notice how it differs from after Fast Five.
Wish his mama had kept her legs closed.
Fast 5, being a PG-13 movie, uses its one fuck to give to him in his introductory scene.
Stay the fuck out of my way.
Fast F-bombing.
And he is perpetually sweating. So like in Furious 7, in his first scene, he's doing paperwork while wiping sweat off his brow.
There's no AC here.
So Fast 5 represents a big step up for the franchise in 3 ways, but the biggest one might be adding The Rock to the ensemble. The second one is the new focus on practical stunt work. So no more bullshit CGI cars. These are real stunts and they look great. And the third is the series' recommitment to the theme of family. Bringing in all these characters forms this huge makeshift family, and Dom will not let you forget that. To give you an example, here is an edit of all the times people say family in movies 5, 6, and 7.
Family.
Family, family.
Family.
Family, family, family.
Family. Family.
Family.
Family. Family.
Family. Family.
Family.
Family.
Family.
Family. Family. Family. Salute me, familia.
All the time. It's just, I will say, these films are more family friendly than most films aimed for kids. I had to say it. The Fast and the Furious, fun for the whole family, because it never shuts up about family. Although it is a good theme. Family is a good theme.
If you need an example of how far from its original roots this series has come, there's a scene in the movie where they need some cars for their heist, and so they go to a street race, like where the original movies were set, and then it just cuts to after the race when they've already won the cars. Like, it doesn't give a shit about racing anymore. They have better things to focus on. But anyway, let me talk more about Han. See, in Fast 5, Han and Giselle fall in love and get together, and it's beautiful and wonderful. And at the end of the movie, she's like,
I thought you wanted to go to Tokyo.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Eventually.
Eventually.
and there's this huge dramatic irony, because you know eventually he's going to go to Tokyo and he's going to die. So at the climactic scene of the 6th movie, Giselle sacrifices her life to save Han, and he is so distraught that he leaves and goes to Tokyo. And so in the post-credit scene of Furious 6, we're back in the car chase from Tokyo Drift, and Han gets hit by another car, and he dies in the car crash, but then that other car, it stops, and someone gets out. And it's Jason Statham, as the brother of the villain from the movie that you just watched. And he calls Dom, and he's like,
Dominic Toretto. You don't know me. You're about to.
and the whole timeline has come full circle. See, here is where the Fast and Furious movies become the best superhero franchise in Hollywood. Like, at this point, these movies have become a better adaptation of Claremont X-Men than the actual X-Men movies. They managed to tie in...
These movies are practically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but with cars as the main focus. I could not be all the more happier for that.
every character and everything that's ever happened in the series. Like the 5th movie, in the post-credit scene, they bring back Eva Mendes.
Agent Monica Fuentes. I do hope they bring her back. You know, I think Eva Mendes is a very talented actress, also a very beautiful woman.
This is a character from Too Fast, Too Furious, and she's working with The Rock. And then she reveals to him that Letty is still alive, but she's working with this evil team that's like the doppelganger version of Dom's team, where each one has their own counterpart. It's like the Masters of Evil or the Frightful Four. And so in the 6th movie, Dom's team has to team up with The Rock to fight this evil team and save the world and restore Letty's memory. And now apparently in the 8th movie, Dom betrays the team and starts working with evil Charlize Theron. I have no idea what's going on. Because what's great is that unlike every other big franchise in Hollywood right now, these movies have no source material. They're not based on anything, so we have no idea what's going to happen. Like the 7th one, it brings in Kurt Russell as a guy named Mr. Nobody. The 8th one, Helen Mirren is playing Jason Statham's mom. This is insane. What's going to happen in 9 and 10? I have no idea. But what's great about the series is that it knows exactly what it is. It knows how to be big and crazy and exciting, but there's also this sincerity to it. The movies love and care about these characters. So as tired as you might get of Vin Diesel saying the word family, they really believe it. Like, in the 7th one, as we all know, Paul Walker tragically died during the production of the movie. And
yeah, I remember that. That was very sad. I just came back from seeing Furious 7 and I got so teary-eyed when they played that moment. I don't want to cry on camera. Quick, think happy thoughts.
So at the end, they give his character the happy ending that he couldn't have in
Yeah.
real life. And it ends with this extended tribute to him, which walks right up to breaking the fourth wall but doesn't quite, and it would be totally out of place in like any other series, but it works here. Because this is a series about family. And people
Also, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, I think they were actually good friends in real life. So I think that's what affected a lot of Furious 7 since Vin Diesel had the creative control and he was like, we need to make this as a as a tribute to Paul as well. There are moments in Furious 7 where I was like, oh no, no, don't die, Brian, don't die. But, they don't kill him off. But we all know what happens. They just retire the character, but not like, yeah, but yeah. Although that's one weird thing about F9. Mia returns, which I don't know why. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I bet Jordana Brewster's a nice woman, very beautiful. I've always thought she was very great, very beautiful, and pretty talented at times. But I feel like for me, the best of Mia was in Fast Five, where she had more to do. In 1 and 4, she's just kind of set aside as like, don't worry, she's the love interest for Paul Walker's character. And then in 6 and 7, she's just backhanded as to a supporting role. But you know, I do hope with F9 they at least, even though I'm mixed on Mia returning, given how Furious 7 ends, I do hope Mia gets more badass moments rather than just, backhanded love interest. Because Fast Five is where we got to see more of her. Be actually useful. You know, but yeah.
driving cars really fast and furiously. And since apparently there's going to be 10 movies total, here
11. It's now been announced there's going to be 11. This franchise will not run out on gas. I don't care. I'm still going to watch it.
Here is a list of things that I would like to see in the remaining films. First of all, they should go into space. Specifically, I want to see Tej driving a car in space. A car outrunning an atomic blast. Cars jumping from plane to plane. Cars jumping across rooftops, but like 10 rooftops. A crossover with Xander Cage, so double diesel. A crossover with the bike foo women from Torque. Bring Han back. If Letty can come back, why not him too? At some point, The Rock should throw a car. Time travel. Call one of them the past of the Furious. Dom's body should fuse with the car so he finally reaches his ultimate form as a car-human hybrid. So like Tetsuo the Iron Man type stuff. Maybe like evil clones, like fighting evil clones of themselves. Since they've already got Kurt Russell, bring in Val Kilmer so we can have a Tombstone reunion. C-Tape.
I don't think that's ever going to be possible, unfortunately, given that I think, you know, uh, that Val Kilmer just had recovery from throat cancer or something. I don't know. It could have been interesting, but it makes me sad seeing Val Kilmer nowadays. It's just sad.
Put Channing Tatum in one. The last one should have
What?
like fighting evil clones of themselves. Since they've already got Kurt Russell, bring in Val Kilmer so we can have a Tombstone reunion. C-Tapes. Put Channing Tatum in one. The last one should have a plot all about stealing DVD players to bring it all full circle. Anyway, here, watch these movies. Ride or die. Salute mi familia. I'll see you later.
And then Patrick falls outside drunk. Whoa! I really gotta stop drinking more. That'd be funny, though.
Do you know what he was talking about?
No, but he seems to really care about someone named Han.
I love seeing videos where Patrick just puts his parents in them. Oh yeah, I did like this video, ironically enough. Yeah, now I'm interested again. Fast. Yeah, here it is. It might just redirect to the film, the fourth film. Okay, the Fast and Furious franchise. Um, and let's see, the Fast Saga. All right. Fast and Furious 10. A 10th film. Okay. Oh, thank God. Chris Morgan is coming back to write the 10th film. Thank you, God. A 10th film is planned, with Flynn set to return to direct and Chris Morgan to write. It was scheduled to be released on April 2nd, 2021, thus causing the film to be postponed to a later date and due to continuous delays with. I think essentially what they're going to do is they're going to wait. Like, the whole crew is eventually going to wait until they can make the 10th film. Although apparently there's going to be more. So, yeah, there's going to be at least an 11th film. I do hope they go do it as time travel. Let's see, spin-off Hobbs and Shaw. Technically, Hobbs and Shaw is the third spin-off film. Untitled female-led film. There's probably going to be a female with all the female characters. I mean, I'd be down. And Hobbs and Shaw sequel. Thank God. I think they're still waiting. I think they're gonna do Hobbs and Shaw once The Rock finally has some free time on his schedule. Let me see. Uh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah. Uh, or just Dwayne The Rock Johnson. IMDb. There. IMDb is more reliable when you think about it. So yeah. Television. Yeah. Sure. Principal cast. All right. Uh, let's see what Vin Diesel has done outside. I mostly enjoy Vin Diesel. That depends. Film. All right. Awakening. Let's see. Saving Private Ryan and the Iron Giant, and Pitch Black, Triple X, Xander Cage, Man Apart, Chronicles of Riddick. Can I find Eagles? Babylon AD. That movie was awful. Uh, Riddick, the third Riddick movie. I know lots of people enjoyed the third Riddick movie. I was in the minority that did not like it. Uh, I prefer Chronicles of Riddick. That's just me, though. Guardians of the Galaxy movies and Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. Screw. And Last Witch Hunter, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, Triple X Return of Xander Cage, Bloodshot. So, yeah. Apparently he's now in Avatar 2 and 3. So, yeah. Paul Walker sadly passed away. Legal issue. Paul Walker filmography. And the Rock Johnson, IMDb. All right, here we go. Gonna try and do. All right, so I'm looking at it now. Oh, Tammy and the T Rex. Pleasantville, Varsity Blues. She's all that. The Skulls. The Fast and the Furious. Obviously, Joyride. Timeline. That movie was not good. Uh, Null. I don't remember that. Into the Blue. The first Into the Blue was a good movie. Eight Below. Flags of Our Fathers. Let's see. I don't notice anything going on so far. So yeah, I must not pay attention too much. It's sad what happened to him though. All right, here it is. Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Let's see what he's working on right now. Look at all the stuff that he has in development here. All right, just recently did Jungle Cruise, uh, DC League of Super Pets, and Black Adam. Damn it. Um, Apparently he's got a few movies planned here. The King. I do know this movie. I think this is the movie that was announced for Robert Zemeckis to direct. Vin Diesel blames tough love for Dwayne Johnson feud. I tell you what, I do like Vin Diesel, but I do think he's come off as that difficult to work with personality. Sadly, but he might be a nice guy. I don't know. San Andreas 2. Apparently, Doc Savage, Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Oh man, there's like a lot. He's got hundreds of projects in development. It is scary. His latest films are Jungle Cruise and Red Notice. I'm actually excited for both films. More importantly, Red Notice. So, yeah. Yeah, here it is, the King. King Kamehameha. Kamehameha! Sorry about that. King Kamehameha. King Kamehameha. Fills his lifelong. Oh, it's, yeah, Robert Zemeckis, which, praying to God, it's not like Robert Zemeckis' last two films, because Robert Zemeckis is like my all-time favorite director, but more recently he's made two very disappointing films. The first one, Welcome to Marwen, which was okay. The second, The Witches. I did not like The Witches, unfortunately. I am hoping that Robert Zemeckis makes a good movie in The King, and apparently it's written by Randall Wallace. Yeah, We Were Soldiers, Braveheart, and Secretariat. Yeah, I've really got nothing left to add other than this is probably one of Patrick's best videos, and I'm excited for the newest film, although I don't think it's going to be as great. Hopefully, it's enjoyable enough. I do want to see more, though. So, I'm going to end the video here. This was Patrick H. Willems Explained The Fast and the Furious, and why it's great. I'll leave a link to the original video down below, link to Patrick's channel, he deserves all the love, and a link to my Instagram page. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to relax now. Godspeed, everyone. Take care. Take care.